My beloved child, pause for a moment and set aside everything competing for your attention. I want you to stay here with me and give your heart fully to this moment. What I am about to speak over your life carries weight, and if you remain with me until the end, it will shape the road ahead in ways you do not yet see. Right now, a choice stands before you. You can stay and receive what I have prepared, or you can turn away and miss what I am placing before you today. Listen carefully, my child. In this very moment, heaven is watching with attention. My messengers have paused, and the question before you is simple. Will you remain here with me, or will you allow distraction to pull you away again? The answer matters more than you realize. You are not led here by accident, because there is no coincidence in my kingdom. You arrived at these words at this exact time, because I have been calling to you for longer than you know. And today you are finally quiet enough to hear my voice clearly. Something has stood in the way of the fullness I intended for your life. Something has delayed what I planned long before your first breath. Today that grip is beginning to loosen, but I need you to walk with me through this one step at a time. Do not let your thoughts drift elsewhere, and do not allow the noise around you to steal this sacred moment, because this is one of the most important moments of your year. My child, hear me today. My child, and much people know. I saw the tears you wiped away when nobody else was looking. I heard the prayers you whispered into the darkness, even the ones you believed faded into silence. I want you to hear me forward when exhaustion settled deep inside your soul. Not every part of you wanted to stop. There were days when you wondered if I noticed. There were nights when you questioned whether I had forgotten you somewhere along the journey. But hear me now, my precious one. I never left you, not for a single moment. I was there in the silence you called absence, and I was working on your behalf even when you could not see it. There is something I need you to understand about your life. From the moment you were formed, I placed my mark upon you. I set my seal over your life, and no force in this world has the power to break what I have established. That seal carried you through every storm that tried to overtake you. It brought you through valleys that nearly consumed you. It held you upright when everything around you seemed determined to pull you down. Even now, that seal remains upon you. But today, my beloved, the time has come for what I have held in reserve to begin unfolding. I want to show you 3 places where heaviness has rested over your life for far too long. These are not small burdens. They are old weights that have followed different parts of your journey and lingered longer than they were meant to. Together we are going to lift them one at a time. Stay present with me. Do not rush ahead and do not lose focus, because what I am doing here requires more than a passing glance. It calls for your full attention and your whole heart. The first burden has rested over your provision. It is the reason abundance has often seemed just beyond your reach. It is why you have poured yourself into your efforts and still felt as though progress slipped through your hands at the last moment. For too long, pressure has weighed against what I intended to provide for you. But listen closely, because even now that weight is beginning to move. Can you sense the shift? Something is changing around you. The atmosphere surrounding your life is already being stirred. I want you to hear me understand something about this burden. It was never meant to stay forever. It became a place where your heart was tested, where faith continued even when there was no visible evidence, where trust remained even when your hands felt empty. And my child, you remained faithful through it. You kept believing when belief seemed unreasonable. You continued trusting when circumstances gave you little reason to do so. Because I take care of him, the burden resting over your provision is beginning to lift. The hidden weight you have carried was never meant to become your identity. The harsh words spoken over you, the moments that made you feel forgotten or unworthy, never defined what is true about you. What is true is this: you are deeply treasured. You have always been precious to me. Release your hold on disappointment. Lay down the sorrow connected to what you believe was lost. Those things do not determine what comes next. In the days ahead, you will begin to recognize evidence of my work in places you did not expect. The door you stopped knocking on because disappointment exhausted you. I have not forgotten that door. What seemed impossible may open before you without warning. What appeared delayed may reveal that I was working behind the scenes all along. But remain steady in faith. Do not allow doubt to return and convince you that nothing has changed. Keep your eyes turned toward me, because I am already moving in ways you cannot yet see. The enemy of your peace will try to tell you that this day is no different from all the others. It will whisper that nothing has shifted. Do not give your attention to that voice. I am not distant from your life. I am near. I am involved. I am arranging things beyond what your eyes can presently recognize. Hold your head high, my child. The waiting season is drawing to a close. If you believe this, speak your agreement now. Give me your yes. Now let me speak about the second place where heaviness is settled. This burden rests over your relationships. It is why you have felt alone even while surrounded by people. It is why others have struggled to understand the deeper places within your heart. It is why you have repeatedly found yourself connected to people who left you feeling diminished rather than strengthened. But I am beginning to change that. The hold this burden has had over your life is loosening. Listen closely, my beloved. I am preparing connections for you that will come by my hand. These will not be ordinary encounters. They will be people who recognize the value I placed within you long ago. They will support what I am doing in your life rather than stand in its way, and they will help open doors you could never have opened alone. Yet there is another truth you must understand. What is new cannot fully enter while there is no room for it. Some relationships that have quietly drained your strength may need to be released. Some people you care about may be pulling you backward when I am calling you forward. I know this is difficult. Letting go of what is familiar rarely feels easy, but sometimes it becomes necessary. This change asks something real from you. It asks you to trust that what I have ahead is greater than what you have been settling for. It asks you to stop holding on to connections that continually dim the light I placed within you. It asks you to believe that I have already prepared what aligns with the purpose I have for your life. What waits ahead cannot be compared to what you have been afraid to release. So lay down the sorrow connected to what is behind you. Release the words that convinced you that you were less than you are. Those words never spoke the truth. The truth is that you are deeply loved and held with great care. For a long time you have looked to people and circumstances to fill places within your heart that were always meant to be filled by me alone. Today, my child, I gently invite you to loosen your grip. You do not have to force your hands open on your own. Allow me to help you release what you have been carrying. Trust me to fill the places that feel empty, to restore what has been wounded, and to bring a peace deeper than anything you have known before. The healing I offer reaches places that human strength could never reach on its own. I have watched you carry this burden with patience, even through the nights when you felt forgotten. I saw the moments when opportunities seemed to pass by and you wondered if your time would ever come. But understand this, my beloved, what felt like delay was never wasted. Every step of this journey, every hardship you faced, and every person who walked away has been part of a process quietly bringing you to where you stand today. Your past only holds the influence you continue to give it. The future I have prepared is already calling you forward. Even now, I have been setting things into motion for your good long before you recognize what I was doing. What appeared to be stillness was often preparation. What seemed hidden was never forgotten by me. Do not carry anger toward the people I am asking you to release. They are not your enemies, and they are not the reason this season is ending. This is not about blame or fault. It is simply the turning of seasons. And in my wisdom, I am leading them into one chapter while leading you into another. You may never fully understand why the timing unfolds the way it does. I am not asking you to understand every detail. I am asking you to trust me. Trust that my hand is still guiding you, even when the path leads somewhere you did not expect to go and could not have planned for yourself. When this change begins to settle into your life, you may feel an emptiness that seems difficult to bear. That feeling is natural because your days have become familiar with a certain presence and rhythm, but I will not leave you alone in that empty space. If you allow me, I will fill it with my own presence. I will meet you in the silence. I will stand where the absence now feels most noticeable, and in that place you will discover that I am enough in ways you have never fully known before. The space you fear today may become the very place where my nearness feels more real than it ever has. Remember this, my beloved. The end of a relationship does not erase the beauty it once carried. The laughter was real. The kindness was real. The comfort was real. You are free to be grateful for what was given, without continuing to hold on to what has completed its season. Thank me for what was shared, then place it into my hands. Bless what is leaving rather than fighting against its departure. The same hand that is leading you is also guiding them. Do not spend your strength trying to force open a door I have chosen to close, because no amount of effort can keep it open without bringing pain where peace was meant to be. There are doors I close because I am protecting you. I am keeping you from stepping into places that no longer contain the blessing they once did. Trust what I am bringing to an end, even when your heart feels the sting of it. Every time you resist what I am doing, the ache remains longer. Every time you surrender it to me, you create room for peace to find its way into your heart. There may be moments ahead when your thoughts return to what is past. You may wonder how things are now, or whether your absence is noticed. Those thoughts are understandable, my child. But do not build a home in the land of what might have been. That place is an illusion. It keeps you walking in circles while I have already prepared a clear path ahead of you. In time, you will see the fruit of what now feels like loss. One day, you will look back and realize I was not merely removing something from your life. I was creating space for something you could never have received while your hands remained full. There are relationships that truly strengthened you through difficult seasons. They encouraged you when you were weary and helped carry you forward when the road felt heavy. Honor those gifts. Yet there are also connections that, however comfortable they may seem, were never built to travel the full distance I am calling you to go. They may provide temporary comfort, but they cannot provide the strength required for the journey ahead. They may appear harmless and familiar, yet their roots draw from a different source than the one I have prepared for you. They offer shade, but it is a shade that blocks the very light I desire to shine upon your path. I know your heart trembles when you hear me speak about releasing people. I know you think about the quiet that follows, about the absence of a familiar voice, and about the empty spaces that remain afterward. You wonder why I would allow you to love someone, trust them, and share your life with them only to lead you into letting go. But hear me clearly, my beloved. I am not taking anything from you as a punishment. I am bringing this season to its conclusion because the work I intended through that connection has reached its completion. Holding on beyond its appointed time would only delay the new work I am preparing within you. Love is not always proven by holding tightly. Sometimes love is revealed through the willingness to release. When I tell you the season has ended, even the most sincere and meaningful connections can become chains if they stand between you and the path I have prepared before you. Do you remember the prayers you whispered when no one else was listening? You asked me to help you grow. You asked for purpose, transformation, and courage. You asked me to shape your life and remove whatever stood in the way of becoming who I created you to be. What you are experiencing now is part of my answer to those very prayers, even if it looks different from what you expected. You imagined that pruning would feel gentle, like the careful trimming of a healthy branch. Yet sometimes pruning feels like loss because something beautiful must be cut away before new fruit can grow. I see what is still coming, my child. I do not cut only with today in view. I cut with tomorrow in mind. I am not only releasing certain people from your path, I am also gently loosening the parts of your heart that lean too heavily upon them. There were places where their voice carried more weight than mine, and places where their approval brought comfort before my truth did. I tell you this with tenderness, not condemnation. You have no reason for shame. I simply want you to understand why this separation has become necessary. To walk fully in the strength I have prepared for you, your foundation must rest completely in me. The ground beneath your feet must belong to me alone, because what I am building in your life cannot stand securely on any other foundation. My child, to hear me today, I want you to hear me solved. Not because your weight in your heart. Bring it as an offering to this work I am doing within you. Not holding back because of fear or uncertainty. Let it be given with trust, like a seed placed where you cannot yet see the outcome. In doing so, you show that your confidence rests in my ability to provide and that your heart is no longer governed by fear of lack. What you release in faith is not lost. It does not disappear from your life. It simply moves ahead into the future I am preparing for you. Remember this, my beloved. The end of a season never removes the value that season once held. The laughter mattered. The kindness mattered. The quiet moments of comfort mattered as well. You are free to treasure those memories without clinging to what has reached its completion. Gratitude does not require possession. You can thank me for what someone brought into your life while also entrusting them to the path I have prepared for theirs. Bless them as they go. because the same hand leading you forward is leading them too. There will be pain in this separation, and I will not pretend otherwise. I created your heart with the capacity to love deeply. I will never ask you to act as though loss carries no ache. What mattered to you mattered, and it is natural to feel the weight of its departure. But I will remain with you in that pain. I will sit with you through the nights when you instinctively reach for what is no longer there. I will gently remind you that the season has ended, while also reminding you that my presence has not. And when you feel tempted to reopen what I have already closed, I will give you the strength to keep moving forward. My grace will do more than carry you through this season. It will transform what hurts today into wisdom that serves you tomorrow. It will shape loss into preparation for what still lies ahead. Trust that even this ache has purpose. Trust that I am working within it in ways you cannot yet fully see. Do not rush to fill the space I have cleared. There is meaning in the absence itself. There is something sacred about the quiet that follows surrender. In that stillness, I will speak to you in ways that were difficult to hear before. In that silence, you will begin to recognize my voice with greater clarity, because competing voices will no longer drown it out. Allow that quiet place to become fertile ground. Let it become the soil where deeper trust can take root and grow strong. What feels empty today may become the very place where our relationship deepens most. Some of those I am asking you to release may never fully understand why you stepped away. They may interpret your distance in ways that are incomplete or unfair. You may not even possess the words to explain what I am doing. That is all right, my child. You are not responsible for making everyone understand the work taking place within you. Your responsibility is simply to walk faithfully in what I am asking of you. I will care for their hearts just as faithfully as I am caring for yours. I want you to begin seeing relationships the way I see them. They are more than attachments. They are assignments woven into a larger design than you can presently see. Every person who has crossed your path has occupied a place within that design. Some remain for many years, while others walk beside you only for a season. Some connections shine brightly, others leave a quieter mark, yet each one has a purpose within the pattern I am weaving. When I remove a thread, it is never because I am destroying what I am creating. It is because I am protecting the beauty of what is still being formed. Now, my beloved, I want to speak about the third place where heaviness is settled. This burden rests over your sense of purpose. It is the reason you have often felt as though something important was missing. It is why you have searched for meaning and still struggled to grasp it fully. For a long time, this weight has kept you waiting at the edge of what I created you for. But the time for waiting is giving way to movement. This burden requires a deeper level of trust than the others. It asks you to believe that your life carries purpose beyond what you currently see. It asks you to trust that I shaped an assignment for your life long before you entered this world, and it asks you to take a step forward before every detail becomes visible. I am leading you into a new season, my child. It is a season of clarity, purpose, and understanding. There will come a time when pieces that once seemed disconnected finally begin to make sense. But to enter this season, you must leave the old one behind completely. You cannot carry yesterday's mindset into the future I am building before you. Release the fear that has kept you standing still. Let go of the doubts that have convinced you to wait longer than necessary. Surrender the need to understand every detail before taking the first step. Faith has always required movement before complete visibility. Trust grows strongest when it learns to walk before it sees the entire road. My beloved child, what lies ahead cannot be compared to what is behind you. Lay down the regret connected to opportunities you missed or paths you never took. Release the voices that convinced you your gifts carried little value. Those voices never spoke the truth about who you are. What remains true is what has always been true. I formed you with purpose. The calling I placed upon your life was entrusted to you in a way that belongs to no one else. And now the season for stepping more fully into it has arrived. I have watched the dreams you quietly set aside because disappointment convinced you they were no longer possible. Yet those hopes were never forgotten by me. I placed them within your heart for a reason that still remains. Even during the years when they seemed dormant, I never abandoned them. The time has come for you to trust me again with what you thought was gone forever. Who you are has never been determined by hardship. It has never been defined by uncertainty, setbacks, or seasons of waiting. Your identity is rooted in me, the one who formed you with care and who still sees possibilities you have yet to discover. I am guiding you toward opportunities that fit who I created you to be. There is no need to chase every open door in desperation. There is no need to force what I have not asked you to force. What I have prepared for you will arrive in its proper time, because I have already gone before you. A place where you belong, a place where your purpose fits, and a place where you are fully seen is closer than you realize. Listen carefully, my cherished child. You do not need to become someone else in order to be accepted. You do not need to exhaust yourself proving your value. My acceptance of you is already complete. Your worth was never measured by accomplishments, approval, or human recognition. Your value comes from me. To me, your worth cannot be measured. So allow me to lift the weight of worry from your shoulders. The fears you carry about tomorrow and the uncertainties beyond your control can be placed into my hands. In their place, I will give you a peace deeper than explanation. The peace I offer is steady. It remains even while circumstances continue to change around you. It is not fragile or temporary, it stays. And in the days ahead, you will begin to recognize just how carefully I have known your heart all along. What awaits you will reveal that my care has been present in every step, and you will discover beauty ahead that is greater than you currently imagine for yourself. Relationships will begin to unfold with a greater sense of ease. Doors that once seemed impossible to approach will open without striving or endless effort. The quiet desires you have carried deep within your heart will slowly begin to take shape before your eyes. What once felt distant will start to feel surprisingly close. I know your journey has carried its share of hardship, my precious child. I have seen the weariness, the disappointments, and the questions you carried when answers seemed slow to come. But I tell you now, the road ahead is becoming clearer. What once felt difficult to navigate will begin to feel lighter beneath your feet, and the uncertainty that clouded your vision will gradually give way to understanding. You will find yourself standing in places you once believed were beyond your reach. And when that happens, you will realize that I had been preparing the way long before you could see it. The path did not suddenly appear. I was already at work in places hidden from your sight. What looked like delay often concealed my preparation. Today I am asking you to lean into me more deeply than before. Let your worries begin to loosen their grip as your trust in me grows stronger. Hold firmly to my promises because they remain steadfast, faithful, and true. They extend beyond this present moment and reach into every chapter still waiting ahead of you. Your future is fully known to me, my child. I've already seen every turn in the road, every unexpected change, and every detail still waiting to unfold. There is nothing ahead that catches me by surprise. I have already gone before you, preparing the way through every season you have yet to enter. Because of this, you do not need to be troubled by what you cannot presently understand. I am already there. I am walking ahead of you, guiding your steps and watching over you long before you arrive. The places that seem uncertain to you are already familiar to me. Nothing about your future exists outside my sight, so let hope find a place in your heart again. Allow yourself to believe that goodness still waits ahead of you. Open your heart to the possibility that what seemed lost may not be lost at all. My love is greater than your deepest doubts, and my strength reaches far beyond the most difficult seasons you have endured. If you trust me, speak that trust from your heart. Let your faith respond to my voice. Now, my child, there is something tender I need to share with you. It is something I have been preparing your heart to receive for longer than you realize. I am not removing things from your life to bring you harm. I am not moving pieces because I have grown distant from you, nor have I forgotten a single promise connected to your life. I move because I see what you cannot see from where you stand. I know every hidden thought within your heart. I know the questions you have not yet spoken aloud, and the roads stretching before you, including the ones you would eagerly choose and the ones you would fear to walk. Because I see the whole picture, I also know when a chapter has reached its conclusion. There are moments when a connection must end and a hand must be released, not because it lacked meaning, but because its purpose has been fulfilled. Do not mistake my movement for cruelty. If you could see your story from my perspective, you would understand that every person who entered your life arrived with purpose. Some came as shelter during difficult seasons. Some arrived as the very storm that pushed you toward that shelter. Some helped heal wounds you did not know existed. Others revealed wounds that could no longer remain hidden, and some were only meant to walk beside you for a season, because their path was never meant to remain joined with yours forever. You often imagine relationships as roads that merge and continue together until the journey ends. Yet some roads travel side by side only for a time, before separating toward different horizons. That parting does not mean the journey failed. It simply means the season has reached its intended conclusion. I know the ache that follows such endings. I know the questions that rise in your heart. You wonder why I would allow you to love someone, depend on them, share your life with them, and then ask you to let them go. But understand this, my child, I am not removing something to wound you. I am bringing an assignment to its completion. Love is not always proven by holding on. Sometimes love is revealed through the willingness to release. When I tell you the time has come, even beautiful and meaningful connections can become obstacles if they stand between you and where I am leading you. What once served a purpose may no longer serve the season ahead. You may have imagined pruning as a gentle process. You may have expected it to feel like a small adjustment rather than a deep loss. Yet sometimes pruning hurts because what is being removed was once beautiful. It once bloomed and carried value. But what produced fruit in one season may not be what I intend to carry fruit in the next. I am not only loosening certain people from your life, I am also freeing parts of your heart that became more dependent upon them than you realized. There were moments when their voice carried more weight than mine. There were places where their approval brought comfort before my truth did. I say this with tenderness, not condemnation. When I lead you through this release, there may be moments when the emptiness feels overwhelming. That feeling is natural. You have grown accustomed to their place in your daily life. But I will not leave you alone inside that empty space. If you allow me, I will fill it with my presence. I will meet you in the silence. I will stand exactly where the absence feels most noticeable, and there you will discover that I am enough in ways you have not yet imagined. The place you fear may become the very place where my nearness becomes most real. Remember this, my beloved. The ending of a season does not erase the beauty it contained. The laughter mattered, the comfort mattered, the quiet companionship mattered. You are free to cherish what was good without clinging to what has completed its purpose. Gratitude is never required possession. You can thank me for what someone brought into your life while entrusting them fully to my care. In the days ahead, you may think about them often. You may wonder how they are, whether they think of you, or whether they feel the absence too. Those thoughts are understandable, but do not remain in the place of what might have been. That place will keep you looking backward while I am calling you forward. It will keep you circling old ground when I have already prepared a path ahead of you. In time you will understand what you cannot fully understand today. One day you will see that I was not simply taking something away. I was making room. I was preparing space for something that could never have arrived while your hands remained tightly closed around what had already ended. And my child, did not mistake this departure for abandonment. I am not leaving you. I am as close to you now as I have ever been. When tears come, I will be the one who gathers them. When you reach for what is gone, I will be the one who remains. My arms remain open. My heart remains near. My love does not change with the seasons. There will be moments when the enemy of your peace whispers that this loss means you are unworthy of lasting love, or destined to be left behind. Do not accept those words as truth. This ending says nothing about your value. You are deeply loved by me. You are not being released from this connection because you lacked something. You are being repositioned for where I am leading you next. What awaits ahead could never be reached by remaining where you are. So do not see this as punishment. See it as preparation. Just as a traveler must leave one place to arrive at another, you must leave this season in order to enter the next. You cannot remain fully in both at the same time. Even if the road ahead feels lonely for a season, you will not walk it by yourself. I am beside you with every step you take. I go ahead of you to prepare what lies before you, and I remain behind you as a covering from what no longer belongs in your future. Even when solitude feels heavy, my child, you are never truly alone. So listen carefully now, not only with your ears, but with a deeper place within you where truth is recognized. There is something inside you that knows my voice. even when the noise of the world grows loud. My presence has never been a passing sound that comes and goes. Long before you knew how to look for me, I was already surrounding your life with my care. What appears random to you has never been random to me. Every moment of your story rests within my complete understanding. I see the beginning and the ending at once, and nothing exists outside my sight. The knowledge I have of you is not distant history. It is the foundation holding you steady right now. Perhaps there were seasons when your quiet days seemed ordinary and forgettable. Yet even in stillness, I have been speaking. I rarely announce myself through overwhelming displays. More often I reach you through a gentle stirring within your heart, through a quiet prompting that reason alone cannot fully explain. That whisper is one of the ways I draw near. It comes softly rather than forcefully. You're beginning to recognize me, not through dramatic moments, but through a growing awareness that develops within a heart learning to listen. What once felt insignificant is becoming meaningful, because you are learning to notice my presence in places you once overlooked. Know this, my beloved child. Your being here is not an accident. This moment was never outside my intention. Long before you understood it, I was drawing you toward a deeper awareness of my presence. I am leading you away from uncertainty and into greater understanding, teaching you to recognize what has been true all along. Those who know me learn to recognize my voice, not because they are perfect, but because they become familiar with the one who has been guiding them all along. I know each of my children intimately. I know their fears, their hopes, their questions, and the places where they still struggle to trust. Yet I continue leading them with patience and faithfulness. There have been times when you credited my guidance to coincidence, circumstance, or emotion. You may have overlooked my hand because it appeared too gentle to notice. But I am refining your ability to recognize the difference between my leading and the noise surrounding you. What once seemed unclear is becoming easier to discern. You were never created to simply repeat the same empty patterns forever. I formed you with purpose, and that purpose remains present even now. Your life carries meaning beyond what you can currently see. The connection between us is becoming more real to you, not as an idea, but as a truth unfolding within your own experience. I do not speak to you from far away. I meet you exactly where you are. I speak within places you once called empty and silent, yet silence has never meant my absence. Often it is the very setting I prepare so my voice can be heard more clearly than before. As this understanding grows within you, things that once confused you will begin to make sense. Places where you once hesitated will become reminders of my nearness. My invitation is not to withdraw from life, but to enter it more fully. It is not to avoid truth, but to allow my light to reach every part of it. You will gradually stop wondering whether you belong. Instead, you will move through life with a quiet confidence that comes from knowing you have always been held by me. My child, do not rush to label the changes happening within you as something wrong. Nothing is falling apart. Nothing is being wasted. I see every subtle movement taking place within your heart. What feels unfamiliar is often the result of old layers being removed, so something new can take root. I am working both in the visible parts of your life and in the places no one else can see. My purpose is not destruction, but preservation. I am clearing away what no longer belongs, so that what remains can grow strong. There is a deeper work unfolding within you right now. Your mind may not fully understand it, yet part of you already senses it. I know there are moments when you feel uncertain, as though things that once made sense no longer do. I know there are days when the world feels heavier, and your inner life feels unfamiliar. But hear me, my beloved. This is not a sign that your strength is fading. It is evidence that your understanding is growing. What feels unfamiliar today may be preparing you to see more clearly tomorrow. The discomfort of change does not mean something is wrong. Sometimes it means something meaningful is taking place. Be assured that every part of this journey carries purpose. Even your questions have a place within the story I am writing. Every challenge, every change, every unexpected turn is being woven into the life I intended for you. Nothing is outside my ability to use for good. You were never meant to remain exactly as you are forever. Growth has always been part of my design for your life. What is happening within you is not an interruption from the outside. It is something deeper, a quiet movement within your own heart where old habits, Fears and automatic responses are slowly finding their proper place. As time passes, you will notice these changes more clearly. There may be moments when you look back and feel distant from the person you once were. But you are not losing yourself, my precious one. You are becoming more fully who I intended you to be all along. I know how hard you have worked to keep everything together through your own effort. I have seen the striving, the exhaustion, and the pressure you placed upon yourself. But now I am leading you into a different kind of stability, one that comes not from constant effort, but from resting more deeply in your relationship with me. When I allow change to enter your life, it is not to take away your peace. It is to establish a peace that runs deeper than circumstances. The serenity I offer is not fragile. It remains steady even when everything around you shifts. It is a living presence that walks beside you through every season. If you are ready to trust what is unfolding, if you are willing to move forward into what I am preparing, then respond with faith. Speak it aloud, my child. Let your heart answer what I am saying. My beloved child, a significant season is beginning. It is not marked by sudden chaos or dramatic interruption. It begins quietly, through a growing recognition of what I am already doing within you. Old patterns, old fears, and old habits are gradually settling into their proper place as something new emerges. There may be moments when you wonder why your former self feels distant. But do not be afraid of that feeling. You are not disappearing. You are not being lost. You are simply moving through a process of becoming. Consider this truth carefully. Even where life seems absent, I can bring renewal. Even what appears broken, scattered, or beyond repair can be gathered together by my hand and filled with fresh life. My power is never limited by what appears impossible from a human perspective. And my child, this is part of what is happening in you now. What feels fragmented is being brought together. What feels uncertain is being steadied. I know how hard you have worked to keep everything in place through your own strength. But I am inviting you into a deeper stability, one that comes not from striving harder, but from finding rest in me. So, my beloved child, do not mistake these movements within you for fear. Look more closely and see what is truly happening. Something within you is coming alive. Old patterns are losing their hold, and places that have remained dormant for far too long are beginning to awaken again. You are not falling apart. You are being renewed. You are not losing your way. You are being guided into the place where you belong. Allow me to complete the work I have begun in you. I am not only the one who begins a thing, I am also the one who faithfully brings it to completion. Trust my hands with what you cannot yet fully understand. Trust that every part of this process is being carried forward by my care and wisdom. You have traveled a long road, my child. The horizon you stare toward through so many difficult seasons is no longer far away. It is beneath your feet now. The hardest stretch of the journey is behind you. The air feels different because you have entered a new place in the story. You brought your grief to me again and again, and I never turned away from a single burden you carried. Now it is time to lay down the weight of that long journey. You have walked through seasons that left you weary. You have crossed dry places where strength felt difficult to find. I know how tired you have become, and now I am providing what you need for the path that lies ahead. Step across this threshold, my beloved. Move forward with confidence. I am your guide, and I do not fail. The way before you has already been prepared. My presence will be your peace as you leave old ground behind. That chapter has reached its conclusion, and it no longer defines where you are going. Listen with more than your ears now. Let these words settle into the deepest places of your heart. The clarity rising within you is not a sudden burst of light that overwhelms you. It is more like the slow arrival of morning. It is gentle, steady, and certain. It reaches the places where doubt once lived and begins to warm them with understanding. This light is revealing the path I prepared for you long before you ever knew it existed. You have spent enough time walking through partial light and unanswered questions. Now your vision is becoming clearer. What once seemed hidden is beginning to take shape before you. My beloved, what lies ahead cannot be compared with what you continue to hold behind you. Release the sadness connected to the past. Let go of the words spoken over your life that diminished your worth or questioned your value. Those words never carried the truth. The truth has remained unchanged through every season. You are deeply valued, and you have always been held with intention and care. This moment is deeply personal, my cherished one. Though many may hear these words, right now I am speaking directly to you. I see beyond appearances and into the deepest places of your heart. Once again, I am inviting you to trust me. Reach for my hand, even if worry remains nearby. Reach for me, even if doubt still whispers at the edges of your thoughts. My strength is greater than your uncertainty. My nearness reaches farther than your anxiety. If you respond to this invitation, the confusion that has clouded your mind will begin to lift. The burden you have carried for so long will become lighter. You will discover a steadiness that remains even while circumstances continue to change around you. You will come to understand that peace does not come from every problem disappearing overnight. It comes from knowing with certainty that I am present and actively working on your behalf. Even now I am at work. Even now I am healing what you thought could never be healed. My desire is to restore your heart completely, not in fragments, not in unfinished pieces, but as a whole. The wounds you quietly accepted as permanent have never been beyond my reach. I am able to restore what seems broken. I am able to reopen paths you believed were closed forever. And when you see these things unfold, you will recognize where they came from. You will know that my hand was present all along. My child, you do not need to carry these burdens for another day. Bring them to me now. Set them down. Breathe again. Allow your soul to rest. You were never created to live under constant fear or endless anxiety. You were made to grow, to live fully, and to shine with the life I placed within you. The season of merely surviving has come to an end. A new season is opening before you, one that invites you to live with greater courage, greater trust, and greater freedom. Believe that I am preparing something better for you. Believe that what I am bringing has been shaped with care. This is my final invitation in this moment, my child. Do not turn away from it. Do not close your heart to what I am offering. The clarity you have been longing for, the peace you have dreamed about, and the future you have quietly hoped for are no longer distant possibilities. They are drawing near. Remember this, I was never depending on your strength. I have always known your limitations. It has always been my strength carrying you. And when uncertainty comes, remember that this journey was never meant to be walked alone. To fully enter this new season, release the anchor that keeps pulling you back toward the safety of your own understanding. A life that never leaves the shore cannot discover what waits beyond the horizon. Trust me enough to move forward. Already the shadows are giving way to light. The warmth of my favor is beginning to break across your path like the first light of morning. The fog that once clouded your vision is lifting. What seemed hidden is becoming clear. The darkness has passed, and a new day is before you. Walk forward into this light, my beloved. It will not fade. The warmth I provide will not fail. You are nearer than you realize to the place you have been longing for. If your heart has received these words tonight, say Amen. If you would like to support this work, please use the QR code or support link provided in the description. God bless you.